Leafs Nation, are you feeling that familiar, almost maddening mix of hope and anxiety swirling in your gut right now? Because what we're about to dissect isn't just news. It's a seismic shift that could redefine the very destiny of your beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. Not today, not tomorrow, but in the not-so-distant future of 2028. Connor McDavid, the undisputed best hockey player on the planet, and arguably the most impactful force of the modern NHL era, has just inked a 2-year extension with the Edmonton Oilers, valued at $12.5 million per season. Now, on the surface, a 2-year deal might seem like business as usual, but trust me, it's precisely that seemingly short-term decision that has completely altered the landscape and potentially the fate of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, before we dive deep into this game-changing analysis, do yourself a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because what's unfolding right now could very well define the Leafs' future for years, if not decades, to come. Every piece of news, every whisper from behind the scenes, every fleeting rumor, it's all part of a much grander narrative. And here, we're tracking it all in real time with the raw, unfiltered passion of true hockey fanatics. Believe it, the entire league is reacting. Toronto, New York, Dallas, Los Angeles. Every major market had a plan, a dream, a what-if scenario playing out in their war rooms. And now, with a surprisingly short contract, hope is reborn for many, but so too is the immense pressure. We spend so much time fixated on the present. The playoffs, the wins, Brad Treliving's immediate adjustments. But the real game, the one played off the ice that dictates the next 5 years, has already begun. Connor McDavid didn't opt for long-term security. He chose freedom. And when a player of his unparalleled caliber makes a 2-year commitment, it's no accident. It's a meticulously calculated strategy. He's sending a clear message to the hockey world. I want to see what the future truly brings. I want to see which organizations are genuinely evolving, building, and preparing to win. And that, my friends, is precisely where Toronto dramatically re-enters the story. Think about it. The Leafs currently boast one of the most potent offenses in the entire league. Auston Matthews, William Nylander, Mitch Marner, Morgan Rielly. These are names any franchise would sacrifice a limb to have. They are elite, game-breaking talents. But when we dare look ahead, when the clock inevitably strikes 2028, the picture begins to shift, and not necessarily for the better. Matthews will be 31, Nylander 32, Rielly 34, and the rest of the blue line, that crucial defensive backbone, will likely be past 35. And then comes the uncomfortable question that nobody wants to ask, but everyone must confront. Is that the kind of aging core with historical short-term playoff success that McDavid would choose to join? The answer, my friends, is probably not. McDavid won't join a team in decline. He'll choose a project at its absolute peak. A team that's brimming with youthful exuberance, that's hungry, that possesses ample cap space, and most importantly, a team that proves with tangible results that it's on the precipice of a Stanley Cup. And right now, Toronto is, let's be honest, halfway there. Strong enough to compete, yes, but also somewhat tied down by heavy, long-term contracts and a core that's aging at an accelerated pace. Brad Treliving, the general manager, understands this intricate dance. He knows that a window of opportunity exists, and crucially, that it won't remain open indefinitely. That's why any talk of a Leafs rebuild can't be a destructive demolition. It has to be a smart, strategic transition, step by careful step. Treliving needs to rejuvenate the roster, meticulously open up cap space, and simultaneously keep the team competitive enough to remain an attractive destination for elite talent. It's an almost impossible challenge, a high-wire act without a net. But what's at stake is absolutely massive. If McDavid decides to test the waters of free agency in 2028, his next deal will undoubtedly be the biggest in NHL history. Current projections suggest he'll command around 20% of the total salary cap, which, with the expected increases, could easily translate to a staggering $25 million per season. And if Toronto even wants a seat at that exclusive table, they need to start saving every single cap dollar, starting now. But money, in the end, is only one piece of this complex puzzle, because McDavid, above all else, wants to win. He is competitive to his very core. Even with his absurd video game-like numbers, 132 points last season, over 1,000 career points before turning 30. What he craves most is a Stanley Cup. If Edmonton can't deliver that ultimate prize, his patience will inevitably run out. And that, my friends, is precisely when Toronto must be ready. Imagine the impact. The kid from Ontario, the Canadian hockey prodigy, coming home to wear the iconic blue and white. McDavid and Matthews, side by side, two of the most gifted offensive talents of their generation, dazzling under the bright lights of Scotiabank Arena. It's a dream, I know, a fantastical vision, but dreams like that are what move sports, what ignite fan bases. And the truth is, as romantic as it sounds, it will only happen if Toronto is undeniably the right place at the right time. Now, what does that mean in practical terms? It means the focus needs to subtly yet decisively shift. Players like Matthew Knies, Easton Cowan, and Fraser Minton must become absolute, non-negotiable priorities. These are the names representing the future, the youthful core McDavid will want to see when he evaluates the market. Toronto needs to ensure that by 2028, these kids aren't just promising prospects. They must be established key players, leading lines, scoring clutch goals, and proving that the team doesn't rely solely on its aging veterans. And here's the funny, almost ironic thing. Even if everything goes wrong, even if McDavid never dons a Leafs jersey, this plan still holds immense value. Because every championship team at some point had to reinvent itself before it was too late. The Leafs have talent. They have the market. They have the most passionate, dedicated fan base in hockey. What they desperately need is time and a clear, unwavering direction. And luckily, the clock has started ticking at precisely the right moment. Look, I know it's incredibly difficult to talk about 2028 when we're still grappling with the immediate challenge of getting past the second round of the playoffs. But that, my friends, is modern hockey. Planning 3 seasons ahead is what separates the dreamers from the perennial winners. And McDavid is the kind of generational player who fundamentally alters the logic of the entire league. The mere possibility of him hitting free agency in a few years is already sending tremors to the NHL's backstage. Agents are rethinking contract structures. General managers are reconsidering long-term extensions. And fans, especially here in Toronto, are starting to vividly imagine what it would truly be like to see number 97 gliding across the ice in blue and white. But here's the most crucial part, the undeniable truth. Even if that dream never fully materializes, the essential work that needs to be done doesn't change. Toronto must learn from its recent seasons. They've come agonizingly close, but always stop just short of the final destination. The defense needs to be systematically rebuilt. The goaltending needs unwavering consistency. And the offense, while potent, must remain dynamic and adaptable. These are the foundational elements any player, including McDavid, will scrutinize when evaluating this team. And if he sees a solid, competitive, younger roster with genuine financial flexibility, then yes, the dream stops being a mere fantasy. The truth is, McDavid doesn't want to be the savior of a broken project. He wants to be the final, gleaming piece of team that is already primed and ready to win. And Toronto has a rare, golden opportunity to demonstrate that it is preparing right now to be that team in the future. Imagine a roster with Knies in his prime, Cal matured, Minton established, and Matthews still playing at an elite level. Add McDavid to that already formidable mix, and the result would be downright terrifying for any opponent. But none of that happens by chance. From this moment forward, every single decision counts. Every contract negotiation, every trade, every prospect developed. It's a complex chessboard in constant motion. And the king, in this particular game, is named Connor McDavid. McDavid has always been a different kind of player. He thinks beyond the ice. He understands profound impact of every signature, every clause, every choice. With his short contract, he has sent a clear, unmistakable message. Edmonton's clock is ticking, and whoever truly wants me has 3 years to prove they deserve it. And if Toronto wants to be a serious part of that conversation, it needs to act decisively, starting now. So, Leafs fans, let this sink in. The decisions this team makes in the coming months, the signings, the cuts, the meticulous management of cap space, aren't just about next season. They are about the very destiny of this franchise. McDavid may never wear blue and white, but if Toronto is ready, competitive, and smart, maybe, just maybe, the impossible becomes possible. Because the truth is, deep down, he knows where it all began. In Ontario, in the very heart of Canadian hockey. And sometimes, destiny has a peculiar way of coming full circle. Connor McDavid just changed the NHL with a single signature. And Toronto has 3 years to prove it deserves the next thrilling chapter of that story. The future doesn't wait. It starts now. What are your thoughts, Leafs Nation? Let us know in the comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis.